Hey guys, so this is Jeremy Belisari, and this is my experience for the first time using the Waymo fully autonomous ride-hailing service. I had the fortunate opportunity while visiting my parents for Thanksgiving that we were in the Chandler, Arizona area, and I told them that I really wanted to try out Waymo because I really think that self-driving vehicles are the future and will save so many lives once we convert fully over to a fully self-driving system. The route that we took here was just shy of 10 miles and just shy of 30 minutes to get from point A to point B. We started off in a Walmart parking lot and ended up going to Costco. This route was, I would say, a good chunk of the service area as far as range, and I just wanted to, get a good feel for what the vehicle could do, what the experience was like, and that's what this is. Thank you to my father for following behind us so that we could get a third-person perspective of what's going on with the vehicle and how it's driving. So that's that video in the lower right that you see there. And obviously the main video here is from my perspective. In the lower left corner here we can see the first little hiccup that we came across was that in order to avoid making an unprotected left-hand turn out of the parking lot onto a fairly busy street, the vehicle took a detour through a residential area. It didn't add too much time to the whole trip, I feel, but definitely wasn't probably the most convenient or efficient time-wise way of going. But considering that you have a human life in the vehicle, at this point I definitely understand being more safe than sorry. I feel an alternative that it could have done, though, would have been to go through the parking lot heading east and then taking a right out of the parking lot. That still probably also would have been a little bit slow, considering you have people crossing through the parking lot and other vehicles and stuff. So I feel either way wasn't necessarily the best. Obviously, the unprotected left-hand turn would have been the most expedient, but again, not necessarily the safest. So yeah, so enjoy this first-hand perspective of my ride with the Waymo. And I'm going to put it over to my other self in here in just a moment, and you're going to get my real-time impressions of the ride. Hope you enjoy, hope you follow with me, and let's go on this adventure together. Talk to you later. So it slows down over the speed bumps. Oh, there's a pedestrian, a bicyclist that it identifies. This pedestrian passes. That's the turn. Very cool. Oh, I see. They identified the runner on the street. Always uses its proper turn signal. Oh, we see there's the person crossing. There. Oh, it even sees the bicyclist on the corner there. It's the lane. Let other cars turn properly. Good. Did put its turn signal on momentarily to indicate that it wasn't going to go into one of the turn lanes. That was a little weird. It identifies that the intersection signal is green. Been trying to change lanes, and because traffic keeps coming up quickly on its side, it keeps delaying. I see. That's what the turn signal's kept waiting for. So definitely more passive than a human driver. And we're currently going 35 miles an hour. Speed limit here is 40. I'm assuming that it's just a limitation that's set for the vehicle, probably for testing, that it just isn't permitted to go above 35. Okay. Probably for the testing purposes. See what's transitioning lanes. Sees the yellow light and slowing down. Also has its turn signal on because it's going to make a right-hand turn. Cool. And it is really well tracking on the map all of the vehicles that it's seeing. Oh, a red signal right-hand turn once everything was clear. Very nice. Definitely does not take any chances. Oh, we're actually going above. So now we're going 40 miles an hour. What is the speed limit here? I have to wait until I see a speed sign. It's 40. Okay. And curious how it was only going 35 on the last. Oh, we're changing lanes. How it was only going 35 on the last street when the speed limit was 40. The cabin temperature AC is set to 70 degrees. Automatic stay, I like it. It's a very comfortable temperature. Acceleration is what I would expect of a human, more or less. We're changing lanes. Car, I think it thinks it's too close. It kind of held off on transitioning. Gave it a little bit of space, and now we've got the room to move over. Straight. Ooh, it floored it a little. We're up to 45 miles per hour. Hasn't up there, it finally sees the red light after the curve. Slows down. Now I'll say that it was a very smooth slowdown. Noticed that in the back streets earlier on that it kind of was a more abrupt stop. But here this one was very smooth transition. I liked that. What is it trying to do here? Oh, I see the car in the left turn lane it was weary of. The oncoming left turn. Interesting. It felt like it started to slow down a little bit before at least the screen indicated that it had registered the yellow light. I'm guessing it must be picking up something in regards to the car in front of it, maybe the brake lights, and started braking in response to that. Would be my guess. About another 15 minutes of our ride. Very nice. They include hand sanitizer, Clorox wipes. There looks like some masks in the back. Seat there. Looks like it's a good seat. You know, 2 adults and some family members in the back. Got a car seat. Nope, we're up. Oh, shh. Okay, well, that was understandable to some extent. It didn't trust that the car that just jutted out from the parking lot on the left side was in fact going to stay in the center lane, so it stopped really hard thinking that it was going to be run into. Oh, what are we? Okay, so oncoming vehicles at close proximity, definitely it is weary of. And again, it did feel like it started to slow down a little bit before registering the red signal. Now this is interesting because this is not your traditional red. And I believe with the blinking it's supposed to be a yield. And I couldn't see well exactly what it did there. Safety precaution, I can definitely understand it, you know, being more weary of especially oncoming traffic. It doesn't seem to really trust it much. So there's the car that's merging into the traffic there. Let it come in. Seems the scale of the mapping feels a little bit longer than what it feels like I'm seeing with my eyes as far as the real road distancing, but that could just be perspective of the mapping on the screen. Recognizes that you know, what we're passing up here is a bus alongside long distance of it. kind of surprised that it decided to take surface streets the entire way, since my destination is just slightly off of the 101. I would have thought it would have maybe backtracked towards that and then just gone down the 101 to the destination. But especially considering I had seen some of the Waymo vehicles, or at least one of the Waymo vehicles on the 101 earlier, though it did seem to have had a driver behind the wheel at the time. So perhaps that's just a restriction for, again, the driverless ones, that they don't go on the freeway, which is fine with me. I think this is probably the long range of its intended trips. I don't think anyone's really intended to go kind of from one end of the zone to the other. Or just kind of like, oh, I need to go to the grocery shop, like, 4 blocks over and grab groceries and then have a way to come back. So it's definitely responding at speed to what it's picking up from the vehicles in front of it. And I haven't quite figured out like what the indicator that it's using for that to display on the screen. Interesting that it's figured the count of number of vehicles in front of it. It can see that there's 3 vehicles in front that were moving. Okay, 1, 2, oh, interesting. So, oh, no, stop. This is a very interesting intersection. So it now needs to yield to oncoming traffic. Oh, that's a hard stop. And it's okay. Feels like it's going. We've got a yellow light, so we need to kind of get a move on here. Okay. So it definitely doesn't have much trust, obviously, or not necessarily trust. I would say maybe more. It doesn't have much confidence going in between vehicles. Don't blame it. I mean, I probably would have definitely hesitated there too. Changing lanes, maybe? Okay. We're going into another back alley type area, or residential area. Interesting. We've got about 8 more minutes to go. Lovely neighborhood. Oh, we're slowing down. Move forward. Don't see anything. Okay. Currently going 25 miles an hour. I imagine that's appropriate for this section. Unless there's a stop sign coming up. All-way stop. It recognized there was a pedestrian around the corner there. Just kind of faded out of view, but there it is. Yeah. Perfect. For the most part, I'd say its item recognition is pretty good. And it definitely slowed down to go into that dip. Sees the speed bump up ahead, and again slowing down to go over that at about 10 miles an hour. Why are we... Oh, and then the dip again. Yeah, definitely at lower speeds, it doesn't have quite the finesse on the brake. And is definitely slowing over every little dip and speed bump. I don't even know what the speed limit is here. 25, so I'm not sure why it's taking the speed bumps at 20. It knows there's a stop sign up ahead. I do wonder if it's image recognition that is identifying the stop, or if it's just mapped in Google that it knows that that's a thing that's here. So yeah, it is definitely taking its sweet time on the speed bumps. I will say at least it's smooth slowing down to the speed bump. It feels like it might be trying to do a little extra brake, or it's braking and accelerating simultaneously coming out of the speed bump. Because I can kind of feel something underneath shifting, which normally you wouldn't feel. Yeah. Maybe it's trying to counteract the acceleration of going down the speed bump so it brakes at that time. I'm not sure. Okay. Coming up here on Chandler Boulevard, we're going to be going straight across. And so far, its time estimate's been pretty spot on. Perhaps the reason it took us through this residential area is because it knew that there was traffic in the area and maybe figured it was a faster route. That could be. There may have been traffic on the freeway too, and another reason why it may have taken us more surface streets way. One thing I would probably recommend for them is if the turn signal comes on to kind of indicate what the intention is of the vehicle on the screen. I had heard the turn signal earlier, and I guess technically it did kind of show like, hey, I've got a solid-ish line towards the right that is like I'm trying to go that way. But just a kind of a peace of mind thing for the rider, because it definitely is an audible thing, you know, you can hear the clickety-click. And I guess it did just do that there in the changing of the lanes. Like here, it's got the turn signal, and I don't know why. It's because it's anticipating coming up here. In early adoption, oh, okay, that was...
Arriving shortly at Costco Wholesale. Please keep your seatbelt fastened until we reach your destination, and remember to take all your belongings.
Got a little bit of traffic coming in. Go. was weird too. Like there was, unless it was just trying to give clearance so that we weren't all jamming up in the entrance of the parking lot, but at the same time, I don't know if holding up the street is necessarily the best spot to do that. And this is kind of where we get frustrated with, you know, human drivers, just the same as, especially, not knowing how to navigate through a parking lot. But, you know, very decent ride. So we can see here in the path there's some pedestrians kind of walking on the side, and it's anticipating kind of moving around them here as we approach them. Exactly sure where it's trying to drop me off at. Towards the exit, maybe? Or is it trying to make a big loop around so it can drop me right in front of Costco? That's a little strange. I mean, it could have just gone straight in through the entrance instead of turning right like it did. Finding a spot to...
Arriving shortly at Costco Wholesale. Please keep your seatbelt fastened until we reach your destination and remember to take all your belongings.
Let's see, here it's a little bit in the aisleway. It's just trying to make its turn. Fortunately, there was nobody coming. And it definitely knows what... Oh, and we're here.